estate photographer. Brittney-Elizabeth here with Nice Place Media. My goal is to support you in becoming a real estate photographer using a method that's easy to learn, easy to teach for when you're ready to scale up, and as efficient and low stress as it can possibly get. With that in mind, today I'll be sharing some of my favorite tips for executing stress-free shoots. From what to wear, what to keep on hand, and how to take more thoughtful photos, this course will provide you with tips to make your workflow more efficient so that you can work smarter and experience greater ease. Here's what you would want to consider keeping in your car: 2 phone chargers and an extra laptop charger. You will be relying heavily on your phone all day for GPS, corresponding with clients, and depending on your camera, shooting remotely. Your phone is your lifeline. Always have a backup charger in case the first one fails. The same goes for your laptop. I recommend keeping one charger at home or in your office and another in your car. Mobile outlet. This is handy for charging your camera batteries, iPads, and laptop when in a pinch. You won't use this daily, perhaps not even every week, but when you need it, you'll be glad it's there. For toiletries, I recommend deodorant and body wipes, just in case you need them after a sweaty or messy shoot. Toilet paper, hand soap, and paper towels will come in handy too if you need to freshen up while you're in a vacant home. And a side note, always check that the toilet is running before using it. Learn from my mistakes. Check the water first. Here's what to wear and why. For clothing, I recommend wearing all black or all dark colors. Bright colors show up in reflective surfaces and create extra editing work. Fast-drying clothes are also recommended for your comfort, especially if you live in a hot climate. You'll want to choose shoes that are waterproof, non-slip boots with a zipper. These protect your feet in wet terrain, which you will encounter regularly. Even on warm, dry days, you're bound to encounter a wet basement or a soggy backyard. You want those shoes to be waterproof. Choosing a boot over a shoe is also a good choice because it protects your feet from injury if you step on sharp objects. When shooting new construction, you're bound to step on a nail or shards of glass, and boots better protect your feet from these kinds of things. The zipper comes in handy because many homeowners will request that you take your shoes off, and the zipper makes your shoes easy to get on and off. I do not recommend wearing shoe covers. They're very slippery and they are a trip hazard. I highly suggest wearing a tool belt for fanny pack. There's nothing worse than running out of a memory card or needing a door stopper and having to go back and forth to your car in the middle of a shoot to grab these things. If you're wearing a tool belt or a fanny pack, then you can keep the essentials on your person at all times. In it, you'll want to keep your personal keys, the property's keys, extra camera batteries, an extra memory card or 10, a door stopper, your phone, a few paper towels or tissues, and a face mask, which is useful for COVID and for moldy basements. I want to reiterate that you should keep the property's keys with you at all times. I have made the mistake of leaving the keys in a house and locking myself out of that house while shooting the backyard. Don't be like me. Hold on to the key. Here are some tried and true tripod tricks, but keep in mind that these are situational, and sometimes you'll find that raising your tripod or lowering your tripod makes a specific shot stand out. If that's the case, then go for it. But in general situations, when you're shooting exteriors, you'll want to raise your tripod as high as possible to make your exteriors look more grand. 80% of your exteriors should be at full height like this. The others should be lower to better capture yard space and features that are closer to the ground. If you can find a hill or other elevated surface to stand on, do it. That'll give your exteriors even more height. For interior rooms that are not kitchens, you'll want to lower your tripod until you're capturing 20% more floor than ceiling. I find that 4 to 4.5 feet is the best height for my tripod to capture more floor than ceiling. Shooting more floor than ceiling will showcase the size of the room and make small spaces look as large as possible. This will work in most scenarios, but don't forget to raise your tripod to look beyond large objects, such as sofas and dining room chairs. In the kitchen, you'll want to raise your tripod until you can't see the underside of cabinets, because they're usually pretty ugly. Also, be sure to raise your tripod enough to see the full surface of countertops. If you can't see any detail in the countertop that you're shooting, or if you can't see the surface of the countertops, then your tripod is too low. Be sure to study up on and know what sells. It's commonly said that kitchens and bathrooms sell houses, and while this is true, there are other important features that you'll want to be sure to recognize and skillfully capture as well. Here's a list of sought-after features in my real estate market. Homes that back onto woods are a big deal because they offer enhanced privacy. Some people find it enjoyable to hang out at home in their undies, but they don't necessarily want their neighbors to witness this in action. If your home backs onto woods, then this lessens the chances of that happening. Other desirable exterior features are water-oriented homes, homes that are on a golf course or that have golf course views, and homes that are in or have views of parks or other natural settings. If an unfinished basement has high ceilings, then it indicates to potential buyers that they have the space to finish the basement someday should they want to. This is also true of basements with standard size windows and with bathroom rough-ins. So if you see any of these features in the basement, be sure to take extra shots. Solar panels are also a sought-after feature, especially in times of rising utility prices. Garages that have a door leading to outside are considered an upgrade, so be sure to snap a shot that includes this door. In general, you'll want to be on the lookout for all things unique or upgraded, like vaulted ceilings, custom window treatments, and unique backsplashes, countertops, and hardware. Again, these are some of the top features in my market, but they may differ in your market. Spend some time browsing online listings in your area and reading their descriptions. This will give you a better idea of what's important and desirable in your market. Be sure that your photos tell a story. As you're standing in a house, you're able to clearly see the layout and all of the home's features. Now you'll need to artfully convey this to prospective buyers through your photos. You can do this by taking multiple angles of each room to show connecting spaces, windows, and closets. You can also find creative ways to add life to photos. My favorite ways to do this are to crack the front door open, turn on the refrigerator as you see in the photo here, and I also sometimes pull out a dining room or office desk chair to invite the viewer to come in and have a seat. You'll want to artfully capture connecting rooms and areas whenever possible. And lastly, you want to shoot in the order that someone might walk through the home. To give you a better idea of how this looks, let's take a look at one of my recent shoots. Here is a townhome that I recently shot and delivered to my client. As you can see, almost every photo connects to the one before it in some way, so that viewing the photos feels similar to walking through the home. This is so important to do because it puts the viewer's mind at ease and gets them excited about taking the next step, which is scheduling a viewing with their realtor. You are your realtor's secret sauce. You'll keep them happy by always thinking about ways a viewer might experience your photos and thinking about how you can help them to get excited about seeing the home in person. Before I close out, I want to leave you with my last and most important word of advice. Don't wait to be perfect before you begin. Photography is, first and foremost, an art, and art is subjective. Just because a shoot doesn't turn out the way you had hoped doesn't mean that your client won't love it. But if your client doesn't love it, you will fix it, and by fixing it, you'll learn something new. There are really only two options: win or learn. That's it for now. I hope that you'll walk away from this course having learned something new and feeling confident that you can go out here and master real estate photography, because you can. You got this. If you'd like to stay connected or you have any questions, feel free to find me on Instagram or send me an email. I'll see you soon.